Across LC with your hosts, Jeff Alsman and Cody Zitman.
And welcome to another edition of the A to Z Across LC podcast. That was a preview there of Cody Zitman, who's alongside. I'm Jeff Alsman. And this is the A to Z podcast, and we're glad that you are with us. We've got a fantastic show planned for you today. We are going to talk about celebration after celebration after celebration. It's awards time for our marketing and PR department, as well as our digital streaming and broadcast media department. And they're going to be here to share not only a little bit about what they do year round, but some recognition that they have received. Always good to get a chance to talk about positive things and awards especially. You're all for that, right?
I'm all for it. No banter this time. Let's go right into it.
I was going to say, we really don't have a whole lot of banter.
Look what they do. Bam! That's what they do.
I can't see what that looks like, but I'm sure it looks fantastic.
Zoom that in.
I'm not in control of the camera. You provide your own sound effects for the Zoom?
Yes. Well, okay. Producer O's not here. We got producer Liv.
That's true. He usually provides the sound effects. So.
You know that commercial?
He's ready for you now.
Yeah, here we go, the Zoom.
Well, you got to steady it, you know. There you go.
Get another one. Bam. These are our giveaways, posters for around town. QR code is the schedule.
So
get one more. Wait, one more.
How about that? Those look sharp, don't they?
They're awesome.
I like those.
Talented people over in PR marketing.
No doubt about it.
I mean, that's why we're on the air.
And I understand that, like, at different player things, they'll have the opportunity to sign their autographs to them and stuff like that as part of the giveaways, right? Is your picture on there?
No.
That would have destroyed the whole idea.
No, we want people to come to the game.
That's exactly right. Yes. So we do want to say this. We do have events going on campus all the time, and if you want to kind of update your schedule or your Google Calendar or whatever, you can go to events.lc.edu, and you can search the calendar. You can search by building or by date, or even look for the event by name and find out what's going on, and search it that way and just find any event that's out there. So we'll just kind of put a generic tease out there for anybody who wants to go and take a look at what they're, maybe they're interested in just something general, or maybe they have something in particular. But if you go there, you can find all that out. We don't want to spend a whole lot of time because we want to get right to the action.
Does Len have a mic?
No.
Let's talk to him a little bit.
Well, he doesn't right now.
I want to talk. Oh, later?
He's going to come in another segment.
He's never here for this. It's like Boss Man Lim coming in.
If you'd have been here for the production meeting, you'd have known that.
Oh, I was here early.
But not for the production meeting.
Oh, okay. I got you.
But I'm glad. But you were here early. You were that's a step in the right direction.
2 minutes early. Woo, let's roll. Roll.
So I'm ready. You ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
Take us out.
We are
LC A to Z.
Yo, what up? It's Mikeith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but dental hygiene could have been my thing. Or my path could have been conservation.
Welcome back to our A to Z Across LC podcast. Jeff Alsman here, Cody Zitman as well. And we are joined now by Laura Enlow, who is the manager of the Lewis and Clark Marketing and PR Department, and also Tanja Jackson, who is the graphic designer in that department. And they are both here to help us celebrate some awards that their department has earned, and some acknowledgement. Before we get into that, let me welcome both of you to the podcast, give you an opportunity to just say a little bit about what the department does on a regular basis for us here at Lewis and Clark.
Cool. I'm glad to be here. I listen to all the episodes of A to Z. Of course, that's part of my job, but I would do it anyways.
Now, wait a minute. I'm not sure I like the way
Thank you.
I would do it anyways. It's great.
Yeah, maybe.
Can we just talk to Tanja and just cut her out? Go ahead.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
Listen to any of them.
No, that's not true. I've been listening.
Anyway, aside from
Tanja's
listening,
our biggest fan.
aside from listening to A to Z every episode, we are a 6.5 person department. We've got myself as the manager and also kind of a generalist. We've got a print shop clerk, a photographer, a graphic designer, who's Tanja, a web specialist, and a generalist. And then producer O is our half a person because we share him with digital streaming and broadcast media. He does all our video work for us.
He's bigger than half a person.
He is more than half a person. So really half of producer O is a whole person.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's fancy.
Curveballs.
We handle basically all of the media relations, marketing, design, photo, advertising requests all across all of Lewis and Clark's campuses. So that keeps us pretty busy.
Hey, in the intro, I showed these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I show again?
Now-
Want to talk about these?
Go ahead.
So Tanja, tell us, because you probably had a lot of the work behind that, right? Being the graphics person.
Yes, well, it is a collaboration between myself and Jan, who is our photographer. So
Shout out Jen Dona, let's go, Jen!
yeah, so it was kind of Samantha's idea to kind of create some schedule.
Shout out Samantha!
posters
Samantha!
this year.
Can you just give me just a little, little snap of the fingers or something so I know when you're going to do that so I can...
How many shows have we been on? We're in the second season.
I just wanted to be able to
Get
turn
with the
your mic
program,
down
man. Lemons told me
just
I
a
need to
bit.
kick it up a notch. I had 2 of these.
We don't want to blow the speakers out in the new digital streaming and broadcast room.
Take it out of fundraising. We'll get it.
Okay. Sorry about that, Tanja.
No, it's okay. Well, those posters are just a small example of what I do here at LLC. That was basically a schedule poster for our spring sports, and so the fall sports. I'm sorry, and now we'll be working on the spring sports after this. And so yes, it's been a collaborative effort, and it's been exciting to do that.
Can you talk about both of you, just because I saw you from all the people involved, from picture and gathering the data all the way through. So when you say collaboration, give us a rundown on just to make these.
Oh,
What it would take, because this is one of the many projects you guys work on across campus.
yeah.
Well, I can start, and
Go
then
ahead.
you can pick it up where the design happens. Sorry. So Cody actually had a big hand in this as well, helping us organize media days this year, which I think went really well. It's something that we haven't done before. We've kind of picked up teams and individual photos and team photos when they're ready. But that kind of leads to delays, and so we wanted to get them all done ahead of time. We had a big media day, and then we had a second media day to capture all of the team photos and individual photos. So myself, photographer Jan Dona, web person, web content specialist Robert Kircher, and Cody and his team, we got all the teams to show up on a single day and get those photos kind of knocked out. And then once we got back, there was a bit of processing that Jan and Tanja had to pick up on from there, so I'll let her take it.
Yeah, and so Jan kind of goes through and she does her magic with the photography, and then she passes it off to me. And then I go in and kind of Photoshop everything and get it to look like something professional for LC. So that's just one example of what I do here at LC. I kind of work more behind the scenes. Jared, who is our media specialist, he primarily focuses on social media, and I've been working more on things that are LC branding.
Cool.
So, yeah.
And Tanja is newer. You've been here just a short time, right?
Yes, I've only been here for 7 months now. So,
Okay. And Laura's been here for,
15 years.
I was going to say a little bit longer.
yeah, I'm a baby.
So just real quickly, give us kind of an idea, because that's a big span of time between the two of you. How has the technology and whatnot changed to be able to create the things that you're creating now? I mean, you're probably working in different formats that when Laura first got here probably didn't even exist, I would think, or if they were just beginning.
Yeah, they did. We primarily work with Adobe Creative Suite, which is all kind of online. It's a cloud software now, so you download updates as you kind of go along. Before, you had to purchase each individual software separately, and then when you needed to upgrade that, you had to buy the CD and do the install and all that. But the actual software has come along so far. It uses generative AI to fill in images or to help us cut things out a little easier to kind of streamline processes. But I will say, like, before myself, we go way back to 1970. And so the logo that we had prior to our brand refresh in 2022, I believe was hand drawn. And our other graphic designer that was before Tanja had to kind of recreate it in Illustrator. And so part of the brand refresh was to like bring us into the modern ages and start working with assets that are more futuristic to kind of match Lewis and Clark's goals.
Probably a lot more attention to audio and video now as opposed
Absolutely.
to print for the most part. I mean, there's still print, but not nearly at the level that it used to be.
Right. It's a lot of digital and a lot of targeted media.
Yeah.
So tell us about, I'm sure you're very excited to tell us about the award, that 2 awards, I guess, actually. No, 3 altogether that you guys were part in for different kind of areas of the department. So kind of give us a little bit of background how those came about and what you guys had to do to get those. And then I believe we're going to pop up some actual examples of the submissions that you guys had.
Okay. So probably before my time, even my department was a member of the National Council for Marketing and Public Relations, or NCMPR for short. And that is an organization that serves 2-year and technical colleges and their marketing efforts. So it's very specific to us. We get a chance to network with people who do our jobs across the country and even in Canada.
Multinational.
Yes, it's multinational. And we get to attend district and national conferences to kind of learn what's new and exciting, see what other people are doing, what's working for them. And so every district conference, they have what's called the Medallion Awards. And so we entered a number of items this year that we thought kind of represented our best work over the past year, and ended up winning 1 gold, 1 silver, and 1 bronze Medallion Award. We have won awards in the past, Medallion Awards, as well as national awards, all of which we're very proud of. But we're excited to talk about these 3 in particular.
So why don't we start with the bronze, and then we'll go to the silver, and then we'll work our way to the Big Daddy Gold Award, and tell us about each one of them. Because I mean, I'm guessing there are hundreds, if not several hundreds, of awards that you're competing against, or submissions that you're competing against.
And tons of different categories that span print projects as well as digital products, social media, etc. I'm going to let Tanja talk about our bronze award because it was a piece that she worked on for computer-generated illustration.
Okay, well, the bronze award was the baby blazer that won. It was a T-shirt design for our College for Kids, and so I think I designed that maybe like the 3rd week that I was here. Had I known that we was going to submit something for an award, maybe I'll put a little bit more sauce on it. But
More sauce.
That sounds like a challenge to me, Tanja.
But I was presented with the idea of creating a T-shirt concept for College for Kids, and so I thought about kids, and I was like, well, it'd be kind of cool to create something, a version of Blazer being a kid. And so I created that from scratch. It started out with a sketch, and then I moved from the sketch over to like an iPad and recreated it in a vector-based program, and then transferred that over into Illustrator and added some more graphics to it, and that's what we have now. So it was a fun process. Sometimes I when I'm creating things like that, I'm like, I can't believe I get to get paid for this kind of stuff. It's like I love what I do.
So
here.
when people see it in the end, they're going to look at it and say, oh, that's just a drawing. They don't realize that you started on this device and then had transferred to another device to do this, and then a third device with a different program to do that, and then finally you get an end result. So there's a lot of process involved in that.
Yeah, and she mentioned vector graphics. So you can't, a lot of people don't realize you can't just take any old picture off the internet and then print it on a T-shirt or put it on walls.
Well, not
like
everybody
you see here
realizes. Some people try to do that.
Some people try to do that.
Well, even for the submission of the award, you had to create, you had to submit original work. So now in the world of AI, it's almost tempting as a designer to lean heavy on that. But you still want to keep your design chops sharp and be able to create things from start to finish.
So will we see Baby Blazer on other things now that it is award winning? Will you capture that?
It has been produced on like coloring sheets for some of the events that we've put together for the kids, and it's been kind of one of those popular pieces. I think Laura has moved forward, and we've created some type of a contest, I think, for people to submit their version of Blazer. So it's kind of started a new trend around.
Cody,
here.
how about a baby Blazer mascot
Right?
running around in the gym?
Well, Tangent inspired us. So Jared Smilek, he's the generalist in our department. He has a version of Baby Blazer that we used for Summerfest this year. I made one. It's a dog version of Blazer, not necessarily a baby, but a dog version, not a human type.
I could see the squeeze toy.
So there's little stickers floating around with little Blazers. So we're challenging all of campus, especially anybody who has artsy chops, but you don't have to kind of create your own Blazer fan art, and the winners will be selected at an upcoming event in the spring.
Oh, interesting.
I'm interested in the giveaways. We might be talking.
Okay.
There you go. So
That's
you're
what
I
we're
already.
didn't even
for.
know. I didn't know that existed until right now.
See, this will
For
give you
sure.
another chance to put some more sauce on it
Yeah,
this time
yeah.
around.
I
So,
like it.
yeah. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's fantastic.
Thank you.
So that takes care of the was that the graphic award?
Yep, that was our
Correct.
bronze award. Mhm.
Okay. And then you said there's one also in a social media category?
Yeah, so we won silver for social media posts. And real quick side note before I go into what that is about, most of what we do in marketing and public relations supports our Key Direction 1 enrollment and retention initiative. So we have, I didn't mention it before, but we have a huge year-round marketing plan, enrollment marketing plan. We work directly with KD1. This plan covers a perfect world plan, so we don't necessarily have funds to cover all of it, but if we did, we could do all these different efforts. But they're all basically geared toward 12 unique audiences. Some are aimed at attracting students. Some are aimed at converting students. Like when we get an inquiry, we want to convert those people to apply and then follow up and enroll. And then once they're enrolled, we want to retain them. So that's kind of our big thing. But we also support KD3, which leads me into the social media winner, which was a photo post that I did for last year's hiking through the holidays. So I loved hiking through the holidays, and my kids did, so I went out on one of the very first nights, and I took out a camera. I'm a little bit of a generalist in addition to being a manager, and I love taking photos. So I took some pictures of the different things that stood out to me, and I decided to post that with a quick promo just to let people know that it was happening. You have no idea how much people love Christmas lights, holiday lights. So they see these pictures, it goes crazy. I don't remember how many shares it said it had on there, but we had something like 170,000 impressions. I did end up putting a little bit of an ad behind it, but most of it was organic. We had thousands of people commenting and reacting, and then the actual event itself like totally blew up. Like right after that post, we started getting what used to be like 200 to 300 a night on average. We peaked at 1,300 coming through on a single night, which we were wholly unexpecting.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
a good thing.
Thing.
So I think all in all, we got like 5,000 people that came through that event due to that post. So I was really proud of it, and it paid off. Got us
So
a
with the
silver.
judges, do they know those figures and facts?
They
so
do
that-
actually, and I know that because I judge another district, so we kind of swap, and a specialist judge other specialists. So we trade with another district, and they judge our stuff, and we judge theirs. And so there are categories where you can put when you submit, like for social media posts specifically, like how many impressions it got. You know, some of that context that you might not be able to see just by looking at the post.
So they
It
really
can all
take
be
into
considered.
consideration the effectiveness, not just the
Absolutely.
design
Yeah.
or how colorful it is or everybody was smiling, this is a great picture.
Exactly.
But what did it really do? What did it accomplish? So they
Right.
take
Now, if we
all
could,
of that into
if we
consideration.
could get Discover Day the same way. Quick
Well-
plug, Discover Day is coming up.
Discover
on
Day.
October
Repost.
14th.
Like it, share it, be there.
That sounds like
Be
another.
there.
That sounds like another challenge they've thrown out. To,
Right.
I hear.
So, well, congratulations on that one. So that brings us to award number 3.
That brings us to award number 3. Producer O was a main component in that project, as well as Mike Lemons. I'm going to let them talk in the next segment about what it took to put that together, but I just wanted to kind of briefly touch on like where it went. So The campaign did really well. We got several conversions out of it, lots and lots of views. We decided kind of to put together, we kind of made it our flagship advertising campaign for the year. I think we launched it in March or April of last year, and it's going to continue through until the next fall enrollment period, which is going to be in March. So we'll have like complete numbers when all of that is through. But we went ahead and added it to our YouTube TrueView efforts, as well as our Meta efforts, which are on Facebook and Instagram. We have advertisements at the Jerseyville Stadium Theater, so we put it there. And then we worked with Mike and David about like where the best places to add advertisement placements for this campaign might be. So we ended up working with a company called Amplified Digital in St. Louis to put it on over-the-top television, which is like streaming ad-supported TV. We also worked with them to put something on Amazon streaming, which worked really well. We worked with WBGZ and Alton to do TikTok and Snapchat advertisements, which we had channels, but we've never done actual paid advertisements on TikTok and Snapchat, and those went really well. We also did programmatic audio for that, and I'm thinking about anything else. I think that's pretty much it. But yeah, they're still doing really well, especially the intro video, which kind of introduces our alumni ambassador, Mikeith, and kind of tease off the series, where in each different video he discovered his path. We call it Discover Your Path. He discovered his path in radio, broadcasting, but he could have been, and then we're highlighting multiple different programs on campus.
And that one turned out to be very successful, and it's even part of our podcast as well. So if you've seen that, you've seen snippets of it without even knowing.
Absolutely.
So,
What was your favorite part of that whole process? Because it looked like the people that produced it looked like you guys had fun.
It was fun. I wasn't there when we filmed, so.
well, we're going to find out. We're going to find out how much fun it was, because we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about that particular award in the next segment. We're going to bring in Mike and also producer O and the star of that whole production. Mikeith is going to join us as well, and they can share just exactly how much fun that was, because it does look like, while it was a lot of work, I'm sure, it looks like it was a blast. So, ladies, congratulations on the awards that you guys were personally involved in. Pass that along to the whole department, because I know you always say it's a collaborative effort. So thank them as well and congratulate them. And I guess we'll let you take us out to the next break.
Thanks. Can I throw something in
Sure.
real quick? I just wanted to say to Mike and David, thank you so much. I sat there and watched all of the winning videos that placed this year, and it was a tough category. So to place gold in the video shorts series is really, really impressive. So I just wanted to say that.
Fantastic.
Let's go.
He can add the applause track in the post production. Fantastic. All right. Now would you like to take us out?
We are.
LC A2Z.
Yo, what up? It's Mikeith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark. I got my start in the radio program that put me on the path to where I am today. We still do radio, but now we're so much more. Podcasting, producing, and editing, not to mention new equipment, studios, courses, and a new name. If you want to work in professional media or create better content for the things you love, do like I did and discover your path at Lewis and Clark Community College. Enroll today at lc.edu. Who knows? Maybe one day I could be college president.
Oh, I'm sure, but not today.
Sorry, Dr. T, sorry.
Well, there you have it. One of the first interactions with DJ Mikeith Teague and our college president, Dr. Ken Traska. We are in the process of going for the gold here on our program today. It's awards day, and
Camera one has never looked so good.
Yeah, no kidding.
Can we have that up all the time?
We just put it in the background. Well, probably, they're going to want to hang this somewhere, I would think. So we've been talking about awards all day. We've talked about a silver and a bronze, and now we're going to talk about a gold award that was presented at the latest conference. With us is Mike Lemons, of course, the general manager, and is it director?
Coordinator.
Okay, of the digital streaming
broadcast media. Yeah.
Thank you for that. and of course, just producer O. He does lots of things.
Producer O, he's back.
That is absolutely not my title. You guys are the only dudes who call me that.
We're only ones allowed to.
My title,
Professor O.
My title is engineer.
Engineer.
Okay, but you call me producer O.
Okay.
They go as lowbrow as they can when they talk about me.
And
we're leaving out the star of the show.
Well, I was just going to say,
come on.
the person who matters the most here today, DJ Mikeith Teague, who was the main focus of this campaign that earned a gold award at the NCMPR 2024 awards. Mikeith, welcome to the A to Z Across LC podcast.
Thank you. Give me more, Jeff. 30 under 30, Marconi nominated radio personality, LC graduate.
Keep going. Keep going. And we should let people know if they don't already. He's got one of the most fun gigs in setting up all the pregame stuff and electrifying the crowd before the Atlanta Falcons games. That's just like, come on.
I feel like we needed to bring him in more. Because he's in that arena.
I know.
So it's like, DJ Mikeith!
There we go, Cody. What's up, man? What's up? Hey.
Mikey, do not encourage him.
I know.
He said pre-show that he liked my energy.
That doesn't help anybody.
Well, you and he both can definitely energize a room. I will say that.
Is that a new podcast?
Energize the room?
Hey, whatever you want to call it. I think we can figure it out.
You guys can
Let's
do
talk,
it.
Cody.
We can
Let's
do
talk.
There you go. So you guys, this campaign that you guys did, I'm sure is tons and tons of work, hours and hours of video. We'll let you share that, but man, it sure looked like a lot of fun. And whoever wants to jump in, maybe Mike, why don't we just start with you, and you can tell us about the concept, and then we'll get along to some of the players and how it all came together and all that.
Sure. So, the college is always looking for different ways to recruit students. And it was just an idea that we kind of developed to say, you know what, we've got this very charismatic, successful personality that would be great to run a commercial or a commercial campaign. And we wanted to make sure that it just didn't focus on our program, even though Mikeith is our graduate, but focuses on the entire campus. So we came up with this idea to introduce the public to Mikeith and how he's a proud graduate and what he's doing in the world. We went to Atlanta and shot some video of him doing his thing in Atlanta. But then we had him, kind of do this campaign that said, hey, I got my start in broadcasting, but when, you come to Lewis and Clark, you can find your path. So he could have easily discovered welding and he's doing welding, or he could have been a nurse, or maybe not. So there was we had some fun with some of the skits to where he's doing things really well and some things he's not so much. So we just want to make it lighthearted, but once again, we wanted to focus on the entire campus, not just our program. Obviously, it's going to help our program. He's our graduate, our studios. But then really it came down to the recording of it all. 3 different sessions, really, 3 different weeks. We had a week here. We had some at Atlanta. We brought him back here again to do some reshoots. He did some voice work on his own in Atlanta. But yeah, going out to all those shoots, David, Producer O.
Did you just forget my last name?
No.
Producer O.
I think you did.
No, I called you Dave,
right.
And it's never Dave. It's David.
Never Dave.
But he did all the shooting. I was with him for almost all of it, if not all of it, and then he did all the editing, of course. So the hard work was his. The idea was just mine. We worked through the idea. And yeah, we came out with a product that really highlighted and focused Mikeith, and he did everything we asked. We worked him all day, every day for like a week, and he never.
I don't remember him getting grumpy one single time, and he should have. He should have a couple of times.
But it was fun, but it was quite a bit of work. Yeah.
I loved it because every one of them, while they're meant to be taken seriously, every one of them has just a little edge of humor in it, and it's just. You pick that up and it's like, this guy's very famous and whatnot, but he's still kind of like a regular guy too.
Yeah,
It's just, it really comes across that way.
That's
You
exactly
walk
what
up
we
to
were
him
going
and talk
for.
to
Right.
him.
That's
and,
what we wanted.
That's what we wanted. And when
and I'm talking like he's not here.
Right, right.
He's right there.
We came back from break. Right, showing you the thing with Dr. Traska. We had an open in our schedule. I was like, let's see if T is in. Let's go ahead and do this fun thing with him, and I'll throw your feet up on his desk and do this whole thing. And of course, we knew that Traska would love it. So,
right, and Dr. T was game for anything we wanted to do. He didn't care. It was a lot of fun that day.
Yeah.
That was a long shooting day, too, because we were shooting, and that kind of wrapped up what we were doing that day. So it was a long day, but even you saw in that, everybody's having fun. Yeah. It was fun. Yeah.
Yeah. So Mikeith, which segment, and you can even tell us how many different, maybe Producer O will share this too, but I don't know exactly how many segments there are because I've seen several different ones. But do you have a favorite one that stands out that you did that you really liked the most?
Yes, nursing.
Really?
Everyone in the nursing program. I believe, what was that shot like? I believe I was helping with, what was the shots intake? I believe I was delivering a baby.
The one we didn't use? Right.
Yes, the one where the baby was all lubed up and stuff.
Okay, has
there was a lot of baby oil there. That's all I'm saying, man. I didn't know it.
Have you two been in the nursing studio or whatever they call it? The nursing.
It's a lab.
It's a lab, right?
Yeah.
They have some frightening stuff. This was day one.
Day one, shoot one.
Shoot one.
Yeah.
This is scene one, take one. We walk in, and they have a. How do I even word this? It's something that delivers a baby. Okay,
it's a mannequin.
It's a mannequin,
if you will,
a model, and you walk in.
Delivers a baby.
And we walk in. I was the first one in there. Then Mike and Mikeith followed. Right? We all walk in. Our eyes are saucers. All the nursing students are just like, what?
What's up?
Because they see it every day. That was scene one, take one. Yeah. So yeah, we have.
I'm surprised Mikeith didn't
much good footage.
Get back on a plane and head back to Atlanta after that.
He should have.
After that, I wanted to. I'm like, what is going on? Like, I'm holding
like, what did I get into?
I'm holding the leg up. I'm like, so y'all want me to grab this?
That was the best part. That was the first time I'd ever met Mikeith in person, too, in that room. And then we're in it. We've basically been close ever since.
Yes.
That pulls people together.
Workers and everyone, like nursing students, like all kudos to y'all,
Holy
honestly,
cow.
because the things that y'all have to go through and just with the program itself, one of the best in the state, as I should say. You feel me? But yes, shout out to everyone like in that program.
And we replaced it with
doing that one day was just crazy.
We replaced it with a reshoot of him resuscitating somebody and basically killing them even more. And the nursing student moves Mikeith out of the way and takes over.
Like maybe you shouldn't be the one to do this.
Yeah.
Maybe you should have done the same thing and kept the other segment too, just moving him out to the side and let somebody else come in to finish off that.
You don't get it. You don't get it.
You have to walk down the room and deliver.
Mikeith, we did 3 reshoots in nursing just because the first one we're like, what are we even? How do we make this footage PG, right?
Sure.
Not that it's, but it's okay.
Yeah.
How do we make this footage work? And then we had lighting issues because I was an idiot. I went in and turned on all the bed lights. Well, they were orange, so everybody looked orange. So it was a mess. Nursing couldn't have been more accommodating to us. We asked for so much help. Some of the students were literally taking their jackets off so Mikeith could wear the jacket so then he could look like a student in the scene. It was a huge team effort. Nursing hit it out of the park, and it was absolutely my fault that we had to go back 3 times. But they did a great job letting us make that. And it is, Mikeith, I agree. I think it's probably my favorite one.
That's something that we have to really commend Mikeith on, too, is that when he came here, we had an idea of what we wanted to do. And I think it worked because we didn't follow a script so much, and it was a little light. But there was so much.
Script any of that?
No, we did, but a lot of the scripting came after because, let's try this and let's do this shoot. And he was very accommodating and understanding and patient with all of that. But we had some fun along the way.
Facts. It was definitely a collaborative effort. And that's one thing that I loved about working with Mike and director O.
Yo.
You feel me?
That's way better than producer O.
Director, producer, my main man. But yeah, it was really a collaborative effort. Just like Mike said, we went in shot a couple shots, and then we went back to the drawing board and was like, okay, maybe we can fix this, tweak this, or change this wording and put this in. So it was a blast, like every program. But if I had to highlight one, probably nursing. And wait, actually, I'm lying. Welding.
Welding
I
was
loved
cool.
welding too.
Yeah.
And
Welding
outside, with the chainsaw. If the
Restoration ecology.
Restoration.
That has
Yes.
some of the coolest footage I've ever shot in my life. It was such a perfect day. It was like a nice fall day, and we were setting stuff on fire and playing with chainsaws. It was so awesome that day.
Yeah.
But
and I really think nursing stood out just because it was our first one. But every program, even OTA, that was a blast with putting on the sock and just the whole program in general.
So Mikeith, did you take out a separate insurance policy just for this campaign? Sounds like you were doing some pretty dangerous stuff out there once in a while.
Man, I felt like Tom Cruise at some point. Yes. I prayed every time I jumped on set, like, let's make it a blast.
I remember when Scott Moss went to hand in the chainsaw. He's like, what? I'm running the chainsaw. That's what happened. He's like, yeah, here, just take this and push this button. He's like, oh, okay.
Right. So we weren't just doing things crazy. We had top-notch A-tier instruction from our program coordinators to walk us through everything, including the operation of a chainsaw. In what is it we were doing that day? Burning the grass. I don't even remember what
Controlled
they said.
burns.
Controlled burns. Yeah.
Controlled burns. Yes.
Control burns.
Well, you're just dripping fuel on the ground. You can see it. And if you look at the closing shot of that one, which that's the one that closes, it cuts to Mikeith's holding that jug that's on fire.
Yeah.
That was a fun day. But yeah, there were some things.
I like the ones where we show him doing one of the programs and he's doing it well, and then he says, I could do this, and it wasn't so good. I remember shooting art, and we had an art student there, both looking at something that they're drawing right ahead of time. They had created one that wasn't that great. Would have still been stellar for me.
That's Angela did that. Angela Hung. So we had her draw something that was bad, but it was incredibly good because she can't do anything bad.
But Mikeith's sitting there admiring his art, going, "Yeah, I could have discovered the artist in me." And the student leans in and looks and rolls her eyes and steps back out of the I was perfect.
It was perfect. And the student really did a fantastic job on that. That was one of our first shoots too. Yeah. And I was being really the overbearing director or whatever. And I was moving everything. He said facts. Right. No, I was moving people around, having people move. And so much of what ended up on screen, a lot of it was our student body because they were so willing in, remember business, everybody turns and shushes
him when he speaks. Yeah.
It was just a very fun shoot overall, and everybody was involved.
Hey, Mike, can you stand over there and get out of my shot? Hey, Mike, stand over there. Can you get out of my shot?
So I haven't put it together, but I need to put it together. I have so much B-roll footage of Mike ruining a shot, standing in the background. And so how many times it's just
trying to get a quick cameo.
I remember twice.
Yeah, maybe. I bet you remember twice. Yeah. So he just walks through the scene. And it's like, Mike.
It was more than twice.
It was more. See,
have you ever watched a Marvel movie?
Stay out of the shot. No, but Mike is helping.
Why am I not running the controls for this right now? Because he would be muted and he would not be.
So how many hours do you think you mentioned 3 weeks, but how many hours of video do you think you actually had to shoot to pull this together?
Hours, days, man.
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
So I can tell. Yeah, we spent a week here on campus, and we were 3 days in Atlanta. I know when I walked away with it, all B-roll, everything, we had over 600 gigabytes of footage, which it equates to something like 20 plus hours of footage.
Wow.
It's insane. Tons of footage. So that's actually the real pity about making so many videos. There's so much stuff that only I get to see. So much cutting room floor stuff. Some of it's good, but it doesn't always just fit into your project or the product, So there might be a director's cut that comes out of this in the future sometime. If I ever get free time.
Well, I was just going to say, I was told that we have a blooper reel.
That would be good.
That we can go out to break with the blooper reel.
Yeah,
we'll take a break and then we'll come back. And I was going to say get a little bit more serious, but that's not going to happen. but why don't we do that? We'll go out to the blooper reel, and then when we come back, we'll talk more with these guys and about all the awards and maybe plans for the future and all that kind of stuff. Cody, you want to take us out?
We are
LC A to Z.
My path could have been in dental hygiene.
Okay.
Maybe not nursing. I think the start button is.
How'd you do that?
Just press.
That's interesting. Actually, bro.
Oh no, I was just pressing the button. I just press start and stop.
All right, action, you're working still. Now you notice the card. Pull it out. That's good. I like it. Great job.
Yo, what up? It's Mikeith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but I could have been an electrician. Or I could have been a nurse.
Maybe not.
And welcome back to the A to Z Across LC podcast. There is the highly acclaimed nurses segment or portion of this campaign that we talked about in our last segment. Give you an opportunity to see that if you haven't already. And it's neat, Cody, to have these different segments as part of our podcast because I go through and watch them and I've seen several of them and I just like them all. I don't know if I have a favorite, but they're all great.
I just like Mikeith. That's it. And he's on the show with us. Let's go.
Mikeith is here. Yeah. Mike Lemons is here. Producer O is here.
I see the other guys all the time.
That is true. We haven't shown the trophy yet.
Oh,
can we show the trophy?
Sure.
I don't know if we have a shot of it or we can get a shot of it. Or
yeah, it's gold.
It is gold.
It's real. No, it's not.
It's not.
That's why Mike keeps it.
Yeah, Mikeith has the original version. Yeah. It's gold. Yeah,
it's awesome to win this, right? I mean, kudos to Mikeith. Dave did so much work on this, and none of this happens without David doing his stuff, and of course, Mikeith being so charismatic that it was fantastic. You can have a vision, but if you don't have the tools to pull it off, and it was perfect.
So Mike's the puppet master.
So speaking of vision, is now that this has been so successful and acclaimed now, any thoughts about how we might be able to take this and use it as a catalyst to another campaign similar? Or
we have some ideas. Laura and I have discussed some ideas. Dr. T is aware of some ideas. We don't have the final thought there, but we'd like to keep the momentum going, and we got to focus on one of our highly successful graduates. We'd like to do it with people in other programs who have achieved similar success in their fields, and maybe have Mikeith still be a part of saying, me, now let's find out about this guy who's
I like that,
whatever, and doing their thing, and maybe Mikeith's still running the spot, if you will, but really putting the focus then on a graduate from OTA or a graduate from welding or whoever else may be doing great things in their field. Mikeith, he quickly started working in media, in different forms of media, then on many stations in many different cities, and then he goes to Atlanta, and now he's Atlanta Falcons DJ, and that was fun, being in Atlanta, going down and him getting to go in and him shooting some hype video, and unfortunately, Dave had to leave right after he shot because he had an earlier flight out than I went and Dr. Trasko went. So Mikeith took us to the Atlanta Falcons game. So he's doing all the pregame stuff and filming Mikeith doing it. And Dr. T and I just got to show up later.
Go to the football game.
Watch my kid and go to the football game.
Just got to hang out.
Which, by the way, the football game where we got to go is in this area called the Delta Club, where Mikeith DJs after the fact. But when you walk out to your seats, it's not really seats. It's just you're on the sideline and you're behind the visiting,
awesome.
And you're just watching. And Mercedes-Benz Stadium, which was so fantastic. But it's so cool walking through that place with him. Hey, Mikeith, and everybody knows him, and everybody's wanting to
name
high five
dropping
him.
everywhere.
Yeah, I remember showing up in Atlanta on the same flight as Mike and Dr. T, and I realized about 10 minutes into us hitting the ground in Atlanta, I was the only one there working.
That's not true.
I walked in with 2 cameras and a big case, my bag, another bag, and these guys are like, "Hey, you want to go for a walk and get some coffee? And you guys want to let's go see the sights?" I'm like.
But we got to shoot him in several places. We got to shoot him in the studio. We got to shoot him at the Atlanta game, and but he was so busy that week too. We get there.
You were.
He has something that night. Then he has a wedding 2 hours away another night, and then he has to voice track a bunch of shifts for different stations, and then he has the Falcons thing, the pregame, postgame. Then he gets in his car and goes to another event at a place called the Luminary or something. Where he's
Can I tell the story?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Can I tell that story? Okay, let me tell you the long story, basically. So, yes, just like Mike was saying, we shot at the studio too. During our shots and stuff, I was actually voice tracking the show in St. Louis. So I'm like, this is perfect. Just sit in while I do this, guys. So that was, I believe, Friday. And then Saturday, just like Mike mentioned, I had a wedding in Chattanooga, which is almost 2 hours away from the city here, Atlanta, Georgia. So I did the wedding, came back that same night, woke up, did the Atlanta Falcons. Now, after the Falcons gig, I normally DJ at the Illuminarium. So I was asking Mike and Dr. T, I'm like, guys, I'm having a blast right now. Let's keep the party going. Like, are y'all willing to come to the after party with me? They was like, you know what? In our younger days, we would, but we got to get back to the room. Like, you do this every weekend? I'm like, well, yeah, like, this is a typical weekend, guys.
That sounds
so it was definitely a blast. And always just moving and being busy, but they was just so flexible with my schedule. Like, we had a chance to check out TBS, what else? Studio J, and we rode past that. Georgia Tech, of course, which I did a little work with them. Did we go past Georgia State? Or was I with Georgia State at the time?
I don't think so. We might have. But yeah, that was another thing. Mikeith was showing us around the city a little bit too. So we were kind of getting the front row seat to
you were getting a tour.
A tour, right.
Yeah.
He was a great tour guide. He was our host. It was great. Yeah. He did a great job, and he welcomed us, and I think we did a good job when we were there too.
Mikeith, is that your normal schedule?
I was going to ask the same thing.
Yeah, because I want to know more. Like, just I could ask what all goes into doing this with the Atlanta Falcons, but it sounds like you're everywhere. So right. is that your normal schedule? Like, I mean, just weekly?
Yeah. So my weekend normally kicks off on Thursday. And that's when I normally will go into the station, voice track shows or do production work if needed. Then Friday, I'm normally either at rehearsal, either for a Falcons game or Atlanta United, anything that's going on at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Then Saturdays, I'm normally either doing college football, DJing for Georgia State or Georgia Tech, or doing a wedding in Chattanooga or St. Louis, wherever they need me. I'll travel too, guys. Just a quick plug right there. Sundays, I'm at the stadium. And I could be at the stadium. It just depends. As you know, with football games, if there's times out, the game can go longer, overtime, different things like that. But yeah, after the football game, I normally go to my other gig. And so this is in the same day on Sunday. So I will go to Mercedes-Benz probably like around 9 a.m., finish the game, I would say around 5, 6. And then from 6 to 7, I'm normally traveling to my next gig, which kicks off at 7 o'clock. And then from there, I'm probably there until midnight. Then I lay back down and rest all day on Monday. Mondays are normally my rest days.
Forget it. Not
so
me.
are you like are you like the most recognized voice in Georgia? That's kind of what I'm hearing.
I wouldn't say the most recognized voice. I mean, the face, as you can see, Jeff. Come on, Jeff, look at it. I would say the face, people recognize me, but oh yeah, and my voice is definitely like people always pick up on my voice. I was actually grabbing some tea. And she was like, hold on, are you the guy from the station? I'm like, yes, it's me. Grabbing tea. Yes, I love tea. But yeah, I wouldn't say just my voice. I would just say me as a person. Like, people just recognize the hustle that I put in. And even not being from Atlanta, Georgia, it feels like I'm from here, because they just opened up the doors for me and open arms.
Yeah.
It's a great experience.
Oh, to be 40 years younger.
But it all started with Mike Peoples.
Yeah.
Let's go! Let's go!
Let's go, baby! Just have to plug them in there.
Hey, I'll be over there tomorrow night. We got fundraising starting up. Yeah, every Blues game.
That's lit. I'm actually going to try to make it out to a game this season. But yeah, shout out to the St. Louis Blues. Like, I don't think I ever told this story before, but just with me picking up the St. Louis Blues gig, let me tell you the backstory about this. So I'm on IG, Instagram, of course, just scrolling on IG. Then I get a DM from I believe the director over events at the Blues or someone. I forgot his name, and I apologize for that. But yes, he DM'd me, and he was like, hey, I love your content. Would you mind DJing for the St. Louis Blues? Now, guys, understand, when I got this DM, I thought it was a prank. Right. I thought someone was trying to scam me out of some money. I'm like, guys, I don't have money. If this is a scam, you're going to scam the wrong guy. Like, so it actually fell through because I told him to email me the paperwork and just everything. And believe it or not, that's how I got the gig with the St. Louis Blues. Just my hustle around St. Louis and just doing different things in the city.
Mikeith, when was that? How long ago was that?
So they won the Stanley Cup, I believe, in 19. Yes. Yeah. So I joined in 2020. So long story short, my season got cut short due to COVID. But I was actually supposed to do the pre and post game like I'm doing with the Falcons here.
But then you did the All-Star game, I'm sure, right? Did you do the All-Star game? Okay.
No, and not for the St. Louis Blues. I did the All-Star game for the NBA here in Atlanta, Georgia. I did All-Star weekend here.
Yeah, cool. Very cool.
So my season actually got cut short with the Blues. I believe I did post and pre-game for two or three games, and then COVID happened, and then as you know, that whole situation.
I wish I would have met. That was my last time working for them. So right when COVID shut it down, we should have ran into one another.
Yeah, bro. I was by the beer garden. If they still have the Budweiser beer garden right there, like where the lights are and stuff, bro.
Yeah.
And I can attest that you don't have to be a professional professional franchise for Mikeith to come and do DJing for you. He was back here within the last couple of months to do an event that was here locally. It was a wedding reception, something like that, and I don't remember when that was exactly, but he's right. He'll travel everywhere.
I think they're gonna rename one of the routes from Atlanta to St. Louis and back, the Mikeith Express, because he's on the plane all the time, heading back. Matter of fact, I may have seen him very, very recently. He's in Atlanta now, but he comes home all the time. So if you want Mikeith at your thing, just
and who wouldn't?
I want you at one of my basketball games.
Let's do it.
We'll do it. That'd be awesome. Yeah,
I would love to DJ in the stands.
Okay,
I actually did it for the girls basketball team for Alton.
Okay, cool.
That was a blast. Yeah. That was a blast too. Shout out to them girls too.
Yeah, whatever works best with your schedule. If you're just here, that's what we could do while you're here.
I got you, Cody. Just head over to my website at djmikeith.com. Once again, this is a plug, guys. I'm plugging.
We might have laughed over that. You want to give that one more time? We might have laughed over it.
What's the website?
djmikeith.com, my name.
Okay, I'm going to put it on the screen.
One more time, Mikeith. One more time. I love plugging
djmikeith.com.
Well, what a fun guy. I can see how you guys had a blast, and I can see why it was so successful. You guys all have talent for sure, but to be able to work with, talented folks like this who are so willing to just hop in and do what you need as many times as you need it.
Yeah, it was that. And it was always, he was always just willing to jump in and whatever we'd ask, sure, let me try that. Because we didn't want to make anything that wasn't him. We have this idea, how do you want to make it yours? And, we did it that way. But a lot of people may say, I didn't really see many of the commercials. I see them on this, but it was highly targeted. It was a certain age demographic. You put it, in and the companies place it. So if you didn't see it, Jeff, it's because you weren't in the target or somebody else didn't see it. But it's out there. We've heard so much. Even this new campaign that they're running now, it's the same campaign, but basically new contracts that they are on all the time. So I heard somebody the other day told me they saw it on KMOV. So
and
happens all the time.
As producer of the A2Z podcast, I might make sure that they're in every single podcast too. So anytime we take a break, we see Mikeith.
Hey, Mikeith, have you gotten much reaction from the commercials? People seeing them?
Oh yes, sir, all the time. it's hard to walk through like the town now because people are like, "Are you that guy from the Billboard commercial?" I'm like, "You're asking me, how did you know?" Like, hey.
Hey, Mikeith, before we let you go, what's your favorite memory of Lewis and Clark?
Mike Clemens.
Everything. Hold on now. Let's not toot our own horn here. But no, everything. It's really not one thing that I can really highlight and say I love that. Like the whole experience, just going to Lewis and Clark, it really opened up my mind to just different things, experiencing different things, and getting out my comfort zone. And that's one thing that I always preach to the class that's under me, the new radio personalities that's coming up, and the new stars of the nursing program. I always challenge people to get out their comfort zone because when I first started at Lewis and Clark, I started off in alt rock. Now, if you look at me, I don't know that much about alt rock, but once again, it helped me get out of my comfort zone and it really challenged me to know alt rock. So I will really say like that's been the bulk of my success is really getting out of my comfort zone because even with Top 40, I can honestly say that I wasn't a big fan of Taylor Swift or Ariana Grande. Swifties don't come at me. When I say that, I love T-Swift.
They will.
I do love Taylor Swift.
As soon as you said that, we're blowing up right now. We are blowing up because you said that.
Let me say that. I love Taylor Swift. I do love her, but and just like getting into Top 40, I didn't know Taylor Swift or Ariana Grande or even Shawn Mendes, but I got out of my comfort zone, and which was one of the best things that I ever done in my life because it helped me land this gig in Atlanta, Georgia, which helped me get out my comfort zone once again to go to Mercedes-Benz Stadium, to approach these people and just to have the confidence. I really built that at Lewis and Clark.
I could see if you ever want to do a side hustle for DJ, and I think you could make a pretty good living doing the motivational speaker thing too. I could see that happening easily.
Thank you. I promise you, but I wish these words was like really motivation. Like this is my real testament. Like this is my real story. Even though I know people are like, man, you're so motivated. Like you can motivate the whole room. But this is like my real life by getting out my comfort zone and really jumping out. Just like even with hockey. Did I know hockey that well when I first started? No. But once again, I got out of my comfort zone and I just reached for the stars. So if there's anybody that's out there that's listening right now, watching this video, I encourage you to get out your comfort zone, to try something new. It might change your life like it did mine.
Amen.
That's awesome, isn't it? Isn't that awesome?
Awesome.
It really is. I'd
buy anything you were selling, kid.
Yeah.
I'd buy anything.
Hey, well, I'm selling this. Make sure you go to lc.edu, sign up for classes. I believe the fall semester already started, but you can do the 8-week course. It's the winter course is still available, like the 8-week course. Yeah. And so you can sign up for winter classes. If you can't make winter, the spring is right here. Sign up, get out there, and hey, I might be DJing your next gig. I don't know.
He said it.
There you go. You know, we can just edit out a couple of our voices. You got a commercial to use for the next semester right there. So,
well, Jeff, we might need to talk about that. If you're going to run this ad, we need to go over some stuff.
Oh, what a guy. What a guy. This is fun. I don't know how to get out of
you got to let him bring us out.
Yeah, we could do that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he knows
sir.
He knows the whole We Are thing, right? So
bring us out, Mikeith.
We are
LC A to Z.